Okay, we are live.
Inappropriate.
Your desk. I like it.
I'm like what do they call them on Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm like the trash panda.
The trash panda.
Panda.
I actually want my suppressor for my 300 blackout firearm. It's called the trash panda.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I think you should dress up for the trash panda for Halloween.
That would be fun. I'm being Michael Myers.
No.
Apparently, we decided to go horror this year. So Kaylin's being Megan. I'm being Michael Myers, and Katie's doing Freddy Krueger.
Gosh, I'm gonna be scared of all of y'all.
Yeah.
Scariest costume I think would be for me is the Scream character. Yeah.
I like the high one from Scary Movie when he's like tongue hanging out and he's like, "What's that?"
I mean, this is going to sound so morbid and horrible, but I think the scariest in my nightmares, the scariest thing that could happen would be like Halloween and have 100 people dressed up as the Scream character in like the black robe with the white face and the knife.
Just
and
walking
then it
around.
actually turn into one of them is really a killer.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
If you're listening out there and you live in our neighborhood, please don't make that come true.
No.
No.
That was like the it thing when people were tying the red balloons.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Our neighbor did that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she tied him in it was creeped me out. I mean,
Yeah.
It was hilarious, but it really was crazy because we have the 2 drainage ditches outside ours.
Right.
Yeah.
And just put the balloons out.
The balloons out there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Then there was some around the other neighborhood, so you're driving by and
The neighborhood next to us that connects to ours, where my aunt and uncle live, they had a house in the cul-de-sac, and in the cul-de-sac there was a guy that would dress up, and he was like basically dressed as Death, and he was dragging a real, what's the thing that Death carries, the, on his shoulder, like the.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he was dragging that and like ball and chains and like scraping it down the street with like this demon look, like he was gonna kill people. I don't know how they had any trick-or-treaters because like my kids wouldn't go there, and I was like, this is to a whole new level.
This is something else.
This is something else.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Mixed feelings on Halloween.
Yeah. And being a cop, I don't like not seeing people's faces. And so people
dressed up as cops.
That one doesn't bother me. Believable cops.
I guess it's hard to get a believable cop costume.
You'd be surprised. But my thing is faces. I don't like not being able to see people's faces. So working on Halloween, no, thank you.
I remember when you were the scarecrow. No, you were the Tin Man.
The Tin Man.
And it was hard to see your face.
Katie made that costume in like an hour.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah. Spray painted jeans and all. And I was like, this is not going to work. She had like AC vents around my arms.
Fantastic. It's better than, that was the year that I think we did the same. And Matt tried to be the scarecrow, but he looked like a deranged, I don't even know what. He was like a deranged cowboy gone wrong, but not a scarecrow.
That's funny.
And he left bushels of hay all over our neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
even better.
It was a good thing. Yeah. Nice.
Even better. All right. So episode 2. We're going to wing it.
All right, let's wing it.
We've had a lot happen this past week.
Really, the last 2 weeks since we recorded.
Yeah, a lot. I've been really busy.
I've been really busy.
Schedule change. You've been out of town.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been wild. So I think we have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. Last time we talked, I was getting ready to head out of town to a wedding. And since then, our oldest son got married. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Finally got a daughter. And I love her. And it's awesome. And my husband survived that trip barely. He did forget his suit.
You texted me about that.
Texted you.
And you should have seen my jaw just hit the floor because the day before you were telling me all about the things. And then you told me that. And it was almost unbelievable.
It was almost unbelievable.
And I laughed so hard.
Yeah. The night before the wedding when he walks out and he's like,
did you grab my suit?
Where's my suit?
I got it.
Everybody else's stuff. Where's your stuff? Excuse me. And I think every wife and mom would understand that. Like, I packed my stuff and I packed all the kids' stuff.
Right.
And his job was loading the car and packing his stuff.
Right.
And then when he says, "Where's my stuff?" I was like, I don't know. Do you know where my dress is? Do you know where our kids' clothes are? Get online and find a place from the middle of nowhere in Northwest Arkansas and go find a suit 10 hours before the wedding.
Were they married in Arkansas? I thought they were married in Colorado.
Northwest Arkansas. No, my niece was Colorado. Like the week before. Yeah. All the wedding stuff.
You've been gone quite a bit.
So that was good. And then, you have job change and schedule change and all the things.
This schedule has messed me up. Well, only because I got used to being off, right? And I know the jobs that come along with, being in the public service.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to have a set schedule, but I got spoiled for the last few years of having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. And
And now
now
you're
I'm
working.
like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, or Saturday, Sunday, Mondays. One thing that's really kind of jacked me up was I have a men's group. Every Friday morning we meet and pray for each other. And I need that. And there's so many of the guys, that can make it Friday morning, where as of right now, I'll never have a Friday off again on this schedule or on this patrol shift. And so I'm trying to figure out ways to try and slip it in there or change it up or find out what I can do to, at least make it.
What time do y'all meet on
once
Fridays?
a month, 7 a.m.
Well, I can wear a beard, dress up like a dude, and we can meet at 7 a.m.
on a Tuesday.
On a Friday, and we can just, oh, yeah, never mind, because you can't do Fridays. I can do it on Tuesday. We can call it men's group.
Yeah.
I'd be your dude.
Dude, high five. So you've been busy working. Have you had any fun or crazy incidences that you'd be willing to talk about or able to share? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Every day's a new day. I deal with hormones.
I know. And
Men
I'd
and
like to
women.
actually get deeper into that and what brought you into.
Yeah, we need to do that. We're going to have to plan that. I
Okay.
had all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. I'm sure there has been, because every day is a new day. And every
Right.
day, I love my staff and they're amazing. And every day there are those patients where we look at each other and we're like, man, I love that patient.
Shout out to Everwell.
Thanks. I love Everwell. They're amazing.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug for everwellhealthandwellness.com. But no, my team, we love it. And so, I'd say 99.9% of our patients, they come in or they leave and we're like, oh, we love them so much. And our patients are awesome and gracious. And you got that one little wackadoo.
You're like, how did you find my spot? Who told you to come here?
Said that was a good idea.
I'm gonna find you.
It is. It's like Wedding Crashers, because I'll find you.
Yeah.
Which is funny because at Ben and Skylar's wedding, there was this one of Skylar's bridesmaids. She looks like the gal from Wedding Crashers.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Vaughn's love interest, whatever.
Yeah. Stage 5 cleaner.
Stage 5 cleaner.
Yeah.
Cleaner. And Matt said when he saw her and she's in her like bridesmaid dress and she's got her hair the same, right?
Yeah.
And he comes up to me and he goes, doesn't she remind you of the Wedding Crashers girl? And instead of saying like stage 5 clinger,
Right.
or because I'll find you, he goes, remember when she like grabs her ears and she's like stomping and sticking out her tongue? And I was like, yeah. And then I never unsaw that. And so to Ben and Skylar's dear friend, who she is a lovely, lovely person. But yeah, that's who she was.
That's
And
awesome.
That's now what we'll refer to her.
100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's funny.
So other than all the work stuff, man, there's a lot to get into.
There is a lot to get into.
Yeah. And I think the awesome thing about this podcast that we agreed to is that kind of nothing is off limits.
Nothing is off limits, and we're going to be all over the place.
All the time.
We're going to try to
Which
stay.
is why you're going to be the best editor in cutting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, it's just going to look like the Tasmanian devil.
Because we both have 80.
I know. We're just going to be all over the place. So, okay.
All right. Where are you starting us out at?
I feel like I put you on the spot asking you, a funny story. And then meanwhile, I'm sitting here trying to think of something funny that happened. And I'm kind of like you. Like, once I leave a call, it leaves my mind. It leaves my head. I have to move on to the next call. So I was like racking my brain trying to think of something that happened this week.
Can't think of much. Oh, yeah.
Crazy story.
Okay.
So I drive by, and this is on patrol, and I'm just driving along. I go to this alarm call, and I'm sitting here, and I hear this, we'll say this robbery unit pipe up and say, hey, I just saw a 1990s purple Saturn with a male in the driver's seat wearing a ski mask.
Can't see that face.
This is a suspect from last night's armed robbery. So at some point the night before, this guy robbed a store, a convenience store maybe.
It's like downtown Austin. Yeah.
And so he gets behind it and he's like, all right, I'm gonna follow this guy. And I'm like, no way. Anyways, ends up in a pursuit. We end up chasing this guy. The cavalry is there. When I get there, I mean that picture our street in our neighborhood filled with 75 cop cars.
Can you imagine our
For one guy.
Facebook group?
Oh my God. The drama that would ensue on our Facebook group. Needless to say, this guy was still wearing the black rubber gloves and the ski mask
The night before.
from the night before,
Wow, he's a real genius.
and still had the firearm on him. And it was just one of those things like, here's your sign.
Yeah.
Come catch me. And you're in a 1990s purple Saturn. I don't think it's a Saturn, but it's purple.
Yeah.
You don't see many Saturns, let alone purple Saturns.
That's like saying this guy was on a lime green, motorcycle or something. I mean, for real, you'd find him.
Yeah, more than likely.
So was it like
So-
a big crime? Like, did he rob a lot of things from a big store? Like, this was a hot pursuit?
no,
Or was this
I
like
think it
petty
was-
theft, but we just found
It
him?
was like a stick up. Give me your money. Jack
This is a
the
stick-up.
the store,
Okay.
took the money and left.
And that was that.
I never fully went in and looked up all the facts and everything. So I don't know. I just saw the bolo out for him. And it appeared that he was in a convenience store with the firearm pointed across at the cash register. So he probably got $32. I don't know.
Worth it.
If you're just trying to get meth, I guess it is.
How much is meth?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I imagine it's like any other, maybe.
I don't know anything about drugs. Like I've never done a drug in my life. I did smoke one of my grandma's cigarettes when I was younger, and that did not go over well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah. No, I was like a smoker for like 20 years.
So if you were plainclothes like this today, I don't know how many people would, like if I saw, maybe it's just because I know you.
Right.
Like I know you're Eric the cop, right?
Yeah.
I wonder, like, I feel like if I saw you, I'd be like, oh, he's a cop if
Yeah.
you're not in your clothes. Or
Yeah.
I would think you're ex-military or something, right? Just because of the way you're dressed and how you carry yourself.
That's the one I get a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't mess with you anyway, right? Like, I mean, I would because
Yeah.
I could take you down. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it. Yeah, just kidding.
Punch me in the knee. You know.
And just be done with it. Right in the kidney. Come at you like a spider monkey. No, I'm just kidding. But I wonder, like, if you're plain clothes and you're in a convenience store, you're already there, or you're walking in, right?
Mhm.
So plainclothes Eric walks into a convenience store. There's
Cool.
a stick up going on, and you walk into the door. What do you think the chances are that that person who is got the armed weapon holding up the convenience store, what are the chances they get scared and turn and shoot you? Or, how do you react in that situation? I'm putting you on the spot with this scenario. You walk in and you see them holding the store up. What do? Do you proceed in? Do you back up? Do you run out? Like, how do you proceed in that situation as the cop? And what do you think that person does in reaction?
So if I'm off duty, so there's kind of like the way it works is we're never off duty, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
we're always
never
on.
off.
But at the same time, like I'm off duty. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, freeze, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
And it all depends. If I walk in, and it all is dependent on what this guy is actually doing.
Right.
If this guy is acting like he's real fidgety and he could fly off the handle at any time, and he is actively pointing a firearm at this cashier register, to prevent him from taking another life, I may shoot him.
Because you're still caring.
Or at the same time, depending on what's happening, I may just be the best witness.
True.
It really depends on.
Do you feel like
on
most
what's
people would be reactionary in that sense and he would turn and try to shoot you?
No, I think that most people who are robbing these places, I'm going to always expect him to try and shoot me, even if he's not,
Mhm.
just so I am on that level of this guy. I want that to be a factor. But I truly think that most of these guys who are robbing convenience stores, they're not trying to hurt anybody. They're not trying to kill anybody.
They
It's
just
all
want
an
the money.
intimidation factor. And it's all for the money, whether it's to get drugs or, to get whatever the reason is for them feeling like they need to steal to get a quick buck.
How many of them, their firearms are actually not loaded?
I can tell you this robber guy that had just committed that robbery, he did not have a bullet in the chamber. So he kind of has it Israeli style.
Yeah.
I think they call it where, you keep them in the clip, but even if you pull the trigger, nothing's coming out. You have
Okay.
to physically, rack the firearm to
Israeli style.
it. I think that's what it is. Yeah, so here I had like the nurse story of the week or a cop excuse. We're just here to keep it real, health, law enforcement, family, and maybe some conspiracies. So let's get into this. You do both men's and women's health hormone. What is a medical trend right now that's going on that you're seeing a lot of? Anything specific?
Yeah. So hormone therapy for men and women, right? And, there's no safe, regulated FDA treatment of testosterone in women. Basically, what they say is testosterone therapy in women is not proven to be necessary.
Okay.
Okay. And so the big idea recently, and it's all over the online marketplace or presence and social media, is that yes, we'll give it to men. right?
Right.
Just like we give men Cialis and Viagra and all
Right.
of the drugs for erectile dysfunction and everything, right?
Right.
For sexual health and testosterone. You know, men can get testosterone pellets and they can get testosterone injections and all of that, right? But for women, they say well, it's not necessary.
Okay.
And so, you know, one of the things we know, and this is a whole big discussion, right? But one of the things we know is that, you know, women's hormones, just as men, they decline, right? Really quickly. And
Right.
so for women, you know, most women's testosterone peaks around age 25 to 30.
Okay.
And then it starts to immensely decline during that time. And a lot of women see that as, oh, I'm in my 30s and I start to feel fatigue and I start to feel bad and I'm this and that. But most women in their 30s, you know, if you think about it, it's like, well, that's when you're having kids and raising kids
Right.
and you're having a job. And so you've got little kids or you're having babies or raising babies. You have a family, you have a husband, you're taking care of your house, you're going and working and you're doing these,
All
you
of
know,
the
you're doing
things.
all of the things. You're like, I'm
Right.
just tired because I'm a mom and I have a family. And even those women who don't have kids, right? I'm not trying to single them out. Still, you know, you're doing that grind,
Right.
right? And the women who don't have kids have it just as hard because most of those women work jobs where most of them, right, or the women that I counter, they're traveling a lot, right? So they're
Okay.
on the road and they're
Okay.
traveling nonstop. And so there's a whole level of fatigue that goes with that and mental fatigue and running companies and businesswomen and such. And so, you know, they don't pay attention to hormone changes. And then in their 40s, they get into it. And now we're entering perimenopause. And, you know, so we know that most women, menopause hits at 52. And
Okay.
that's when, you know, that's, you know, the hormones change, their cycles stop, but perimenopause can happen 10 years or so prior to that. And so that's all those symptoms. And so what we need, the end game is we need to make sure that women are getting their estrogen and their progesterone and their testosterone and that we're giving that to them. But the $1 million question is, how do we get it? Because FDA says, oh, it's not necessary. Testosterone is not necessary. So we're not going to pay for it. So insurance is not going to pay for it. And that's when it becomes sort of out of the league for a lot of women because it is expensive, right?
Okay.
And then there's different methods. Do you do, you know, a troche? Do you do an injection or do you do pellets or do you do cream and which modality works best and which works for some women and doesn't work for the other? And, you know, and then you get a lot of people who get really famous and they talk about different modalities and these work and these don't. You know, there's case studies you can read and I think some are more effective than others. And I won't get into that right here, right now. I think that there's a lot behind those. And I think a lot of people who do have a voice in that marketplace tend to lead towards other modalities because they can sell it. They can sell it
Okay.
worldwide. They can make a lot of money
Right.
selling it.
Right.
You know, some of the most effective ways, if you can't get the mass markets to fly into your clinic worldwide, you can't make a lot of money.
Right.
So there's a lot of bias with that. But just talking in the market of hormone therapy, men and women, testosterone is the big one right now.
So for people who don't know, I'm not a medical doctor, science nurse, anything like that. So some testosterone is good in women. Okay.
So
Do you think that
women are born
no-
with testosterone and they don't know that.
Okay.
So when women come in and we start talking and I talk about their hormones, they're like, yeah, I think my hormones are off. I need to get them tested. I'm like, all right, let's test your testosterone. They're like, no, I don't want that.
Right. Because I think that's
It's a misconception. And
Yeah,
I say,
absolutely.
well, the same as men don't think that they have estrogen, right? Because men think,
which I just learned recently.
who taught you that?
You did.
Yeah.
Doesn't help when I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, I'm listening to a worship song. And next thing you know, I'm bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I
That's
crying?
not your estrogen. That's Jesus.
That is Jesus for
That's
sure.
Jesus.
Yeah. But even
the
talking
Holy
about
Spirit
anything,
in you.
I, you know, and this is kind of for men to talk about, you know, I have a friend, obviously, thank you to Everwell. Thank you to Courtney. You have taken care of my testosterone needs,
Mhm.
right? I did the pellets, and we're getting up there, but you told me to be on the lookout. Like, that estrogen it's gonna have to balance out.
Yeah.
And, I remember sitting there and it was, whether it was reading an article, it could have been anything. I could have been looking at tires and thought of something just wild. And I would tear up and became very emotional. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? And why am I crying? Like, you know? And so I'd really just have to, for a couple weeks there, I was just having to go in the bathroom, let it out, and then, you know, wipe my face and, all right, I'm
Right,
back.
right.
Like whatever that
And
was.
that doesn't always happen, right? I
No.
think that's not the norm. And so
No.
it's really a balance and there are things we can do to fix that. And it's funny because I feel like the men who say, am I going to grow boobs?
Yeah.
Am I going to cry?
Yeah.
Am I going to do this?
My nipples sore. Why
Literally,
am I touching my boobs?
men who are like, am I going to start having a period?
Did
No.
you really just say that?
I have had men ask that. I'm like, no, you don't have a uterus, so that's not going to happen to you. I mean, it's real funny. And then I have women who,
Like, was it in a joking manner? Was it like,
I hope so, but I
I hope so.
do have female patients who, if I put them on estrogen,
Mhm.
because listen, on vages and badges, it's called vages for a reason.
Right.
It's vaginas, right?
It's
So
vis-
that's my work, right? As
Mhm.
a women's health nurse practitioner. But if I put women on vaginal estrogen, for example, and they
Right.
have to use that,
Uh-huh.
and then they go home and they're intimate with their spouses or their partners or whatever. I have had patients call me the next day or a few days later and say, hey, my husband wants me not to use this vaginal estrogen because he's afraid if it gets on him when we're
Right.
intimate,
Right.
he's going to grow boobs. He wants me to know, is he going to have female characteristics if this estrogen gets on him? And I'm
Right.
just like, oh,
Right.
no.
But I have also, in turn, I've heard that with the testosterone cream, right? When it comes to handling their children or, intercourse with their partner,
Yeah.
all this stuff. And next, they're getting this testosterone seeped into their skin, and it's actually not good depending on the levels, right?
Well, yeah. And so that's the same thing, right? So it's a compound cream. And so I tell my patients, like, hey, you can put it, back of your calf, your inner thigh,
Right.
wherever you put it. But I do tell them to mix it around and put it in different spots. Because if you're putting it in the same spot over and over and over, you're going to grow a little tiny hair patch. And then
Oh,
you're
interesting.
not going to be real excited
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
And so you want to be careful about that. And, there's tells you wash your hands afterwards and
Right.
stuff. So you're not. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that, this disservice that the healthcare system does is that in insurance, right? And I won't get into my disdain for insurance.
We can go down that road later on.
I'm sure we will.
Because I feel like it's a scam.
Well, I don't take insurance.
No, I know you.
I do not. And I have a lot of patients who
And I'm still trying to understand that coming from your point, because I know there's a reason and it's for the better.
Yeah.
And I think when we get into that, I'll understand a little more of
Well, I
why
have a
that
lot of
is.
potential patients who call and say, hey, I'd love to see her. I've heard good things, or I was a former patient, this or that. And, when we explain like, hey, we'll see you, and I'll give you a super bill and I'll give you a receipt and I'll help you with the codes. And then you can upload this and file it with your insurance for reimbursement and blah, 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 blah. We walk you through that.
Okay.
So people can still do that. And I give them the ICD codes and the, CPT.
But it's on them to do that.
It is. But I actually have like a 4-step instruction on do these 4 things. And here's the code and here's the bill. And you literally just upload that.
Gotcha.
It's super easy. It's just taking another step.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just not worth it.
Right.
And people who have a high deductible, they have a $10,000 or $15,000 deductible. And some of them, they have to meet all of that money before anything covers anyway. Well, they're going to go somewhere and pay $350 or $250. They can see me and it's $75, it's going to save more money.
Yeah.
I hope that my husband's not listening to this because he always says, you just give away so much. You do too much free medicine, because there are people who, speak of the devil, I just saw him walk by out there. But, there are a lot of people who come in and they can't pay a certain amount or they don't. I'm like, that's fine. Like,
Right.
I'll meet you halfway or I'll accept whatever your insurance copay is, because for me, it's about giving good quality medicine and not, I'm not out here to make $1 million. It's not going to happen.
Right.
I'm just here to do what I can to make people feel better. And
You're God's gift. I think that you're
I'm
going to
not
have.
sure to
I
tell
truly
my husband
believe
that. Courtney is
that's
God's
different.
gift to you. Tell him that.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
Yeah.
"Buh."
Whatever. But I think in your position and what you do in changing lives and the way women and men feel and helping them out, I think you're going to have those patients who you are exactly what they needed when they needed it, if that makes sense. So there's a reason, right, that you're doing what you're doing.
I feel that. I appreciate that. I had thank you for saying that. I hope
think
so.
that's a good way to look at it.
That's my hope. I had a patient actually early this morning. I get up every morning and do a Bible study, and I was doing one. And a patient who I have not heard from since November of last year, so almost a year. And she had a diagnosis that wasn't great and had to refer her to a specialist, and I haven't heard from her since. And she's been going down this path, and she just reached out to me today and was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, thank you. Like, you delivered this, life altering news to me, and you were an angel. And, I just feel blessed to, have you do that and be a part of it. And I appreciate you. And here we are almost a year later. And I just wanted to reach out and tell you thank you. And I actually had been thinking about her recently, which was really interesting. And so, it's things like that, even almost a year later, to hear from her and know that she's doing well and she's on the other side of this. It was like, Okay, that was worth it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And really, I didn't do anything other than receive the news after her testing,
Right.
call her, walk her through the next steps, and have a couple
Right.
of phone calls with her. And that was pretty much it.
Right.
But, you know, it
But
was
you have a way of explaining things that are hard to explain. You dumb it down. You're like the Barney style, right? Like break it down Barney style. It's kind of what you did to me.
like Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
Yeah. No, Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
I don't like that one. I'd rather be Barney 5.
Okay. Break it down ABC style.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. You just have a way of explaining exactly what's going on, whether it's horrible news, good news, medical terms that don't make sense to me or anybody else, but you have a way of explaining it and delivering that in a way that makes your patients feel comfortable. I can tell you, I don't want to say it was hard for me. I don't care. I went to you and I was like very open with everything, right? But you have that way, you just make people comfortable, and then it just makes it easy.
Well, I appreciate that because I often think that that's what I try to do, but also being that I'm pretty high strung,
right,
have ADHD, and tend to be all over the place, and I'm very expressive, especially when I'm in a room explaining stuff to my patients.
Well, I had a friend come to you, and she loves you, and this girl, I mean, she's and no nonsense, the sweetest thing. And once you break through that barrier, right, she is awesome.
Well, I hug her now.
Oh yeah. But I can tell you what, after she told me, like, she told me, she's like, I didn't know what I was going to think of her. And then she walked in and she was like, I immediately just felt like relieved. And I'm like, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
That you can do that for people. And that's what I'm getting at is, you're God's gift to that.
Listen, you got to stop saying that nice stuff about me.
I like it.
Why? I don't even know. What, should I pay you for this? Like, we didn't agree to this. I feel like I should pay you or something.
No, but it's honest. It's facts. It's true. And I think that anybody listening and anybody ever,
well, that's very nice of you.
I think it's true.
And I could say a million nice things about you too, but now I feel like now I feel like I need to do a ride along with you so that I can come back and talk about how amazing you are at like arresting people and tackling them to the ground and tasing them and running after them. And
that was 10 years ago.
But I want to see it.
And poor Katie.
How about you just drive the car and I will
you'd be like a trunk monkey.
What's a trunk monkey?
You've never seen a trunk monkey?
And I'm a trunk monkey.
Yes.
Can we have that put somewhere? Eric the trash panda.
Yeah.
Courtney the trunk monkey. What is a trunk monkey before I give myself?
Oh my gosh. So when you get time, and I will see what I can do. I'm learning how to edit.
Okay.
So give me a break, but I will try to insert into a video. So for you watching, you can see what a trunk monkey is.
This is amazing.
But it's a commercial. And so if you're getting robbed at a gas station or somebody gets out to fight you, you get your trunk monkey and you pop the trunk and this monkey jumps out of the trunk and it beats you up.
It started in 2000, automotive group of Subaru enthusiasts in New England. That's amazing.
And okay, so I need to put some notes here. Trash panda, trunk monkey.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
The videos are hilarious. And I will try to play a clip here now. So I lost where I was at. I don't know what we were talking about and how we ended up on a trunk monkey.
If I did a ride along and I would get all the bad people.
Yeah.
I could be a trunk monkey.
You definitely remind me of a trunk monkey jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew at all. I think it's like horse pee.
So bad for you.
Which is the worst? Let's see. What Coke? Because you're a soda.
It's a soda.
No. What Coke is worse for you? Let's see what it comes back. Regular Coke versus Diet versus Coke Zero.
Well, because the Diet has that aspartame in it, right?
Mountain Dew is the worst. Is Mountain Dew the same as Mellow Yellow? Isn't that like Coke versus Pepsi?
You're making my job so much harder. I'm gonna have to become like a pro. Yeah. I have bought so many different editing things and it's so funny because I'm like, I don't know, this one doesn't do what I like at this one, so I'll use this one for this one and that one for that one and this and that. And I am all over the place. And then I take a day off and I come back and I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing? Because I have 7 different tabs open with different clips of videos and trying to mash them all together. But I would say all I'm going to say is let's wait a couple months for the ride along. Let's see where I'm at. Poor Katie. Are you working?
No, I was texting Connor. I was looking at the order status for your creatine. They were back ordered. So I had this thing where it was like, I've got reviewed for approval, and then orders been filled and waiting to be shipped, and then waiting to be shipped. And then I got a ship, and I had an easy post thing. And then it came back and was like, went from a shipping with a tracking to they pulled it back and said back ordered.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
I almost feel like that's a sign like you are not supposed to order me anything. Like you try to order me a chair. Okay, let me tell you this, and this isn't to...
You about to hurt my feelings?
No. No, so I started...
I'm about to trunk monkey you. That's going to be my new thing.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, no.
Like when something happens on this podcast, I want you to know.
I'm just going to put a trunk monkey little editor and just jump out of the screen.
Yeah, if you say something I don't like from now on, I'm just going to be like...
Trunk monkey.
I'm going to trunk monkey you.
Yeah. And if you
I'm
say
gonna trunk
something...
monkey you trash panda.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of trash.
Whatever, trunk monkey.
It's kind of trash, panda. Like if you say something I don't like, I'll be like,
whatever, trunk monkey.
That's panda.
No, you got to say it faster.
That's trash panda.
No, you're a trash panda.
You are a trash panda. No, I'm a trash panda.
You're a trash panda.
What happened?
I'm going to trunk monkey you.
Yeah.
You trash panda.
You trash panda.
You can't even take the insults.
No.
That's the most genuine laugh you've had since we've done this whole thing. I'm just going to call you a trash panda more. I just got to threaten to trunk monkey you.
I know. I'm still trying to get used to like being recorded and like letting myself just...
recording.
I do too.
Look at you.
Until I
feel like I should look more
smile and laugh. Or smile and laugh. Oh, don't show my smile. No. So I started, I'm on testosterone, doing the pellets.
Yeah.
Right. I'm coming up. And I started taking creatine. That was like the missing ingredient. I can tell.
Yeah.
Being on creatine, I have much more clarity.
Yeah.
A little bit more energy. It helps like with the energy of like, not energy, but just helping out. But then I ran out of creatine and I definitely noticed like an incline. And I'm like, decline, incline. I noticed
incline.
Yeah. Whatever. That's why I became a cop. I noticed a decline. And it wasn't like major, but I just noticed, I'm like, oh my God. That's why I sent you that meme. I'm like, do you have it? Do you have the creatine? Because I was like missing it for those couple of days. And I'm like, oh, man, like I need it. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing, but it definitely made me feel better.
Good.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for when it comes in.
Yeah.
Start getting it. So, yeah. Let's do it. Okay. You could have, but it just makes it easier. That's what we do during oral board interviews. We just pass notes to each other like, should I bring this up? Okay. I say we just do it. Charlie Kirk. Oh, okay. Not literally.
My skirt are tight.
Yeah.
Which I guess they're supposed to be, right? Because they're golf shorts. All right. Hold on. Let me do my eyeball. September 10th.
Yeah.
12 days.
Has it been that long already? Oh my gosh, it feels like yesterday.
No, it's been almost 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. So for those of you who, aren't here with us, we're talking about Charlie Kirk, the death of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Murder.
And,
which a lot of people don't want to say.
They don't want to say, but a lot of people are calling it what it is. And I definitely don't. This isn't a political podcast. We can always go there because we are all over the place.
Gosh, I feel since that happened, and a lot of people are going to disagree, and that's okay. I feel like as a nation, as a society, we've moved so far from red to blue, right to left, to good versus evil.
We are definitely in a spiritual war.
Spiritual warfare. It's very much a good versus evil right now.
Yes. This isn't about left or right.
I don't think so either.
This is good versus evil.
It is such a spiritual awakening.
Oh my gosh. And to see people who haven't opened a Bible ever, or in the past decade, to people who have never attended a church service, attending church.
Yeah.
To see what the print that he laid out is just amazing.
You think about it. Had he not died, we wouldn't be there.
No, and I truly believe that he wasn't murdered, he was martyred.
Yeah. They were trying
people
to
can
shut
disagree
down
with
his
this
voice, and all it did was
which is scary
ignite.
because he was assassinated for freedom of speech. For his opinion,
yes,
this young man was assassinated.
Yeah. And what's so sad is how many people are saying, okay, can we just move on from this? And now can we just talk? Now can we just talk?
You just had him.
Can we just move past all this hoopla and just have a conversation? That's what he tried to do.
It's what we've all kind of.
And I think I'm over the he was a racist. He
Oh
was
my
this,
gosh.
he was that. And people say that because, they believe what they see online and what they hear online, and they believe bits and pieces of his talks that were strung together and put together versus, go actually watch a
full interview.
In anything.
Yeah.
And that's not it,
That's not it at all. And they take it out of context and they post these clips where somebody, you see this 15-second clip without any context. Yeah, it's not going to look good.
Yeah.
But when you add the full context to it and you see exactly what he's talking about, like, come on. I have never, and I'm not saying that I cried, but I have never gotten teary-eyed or anybody, at least in my lifetime, who was assassinated, know. But I can tell you when Erica Kirk, when she first addressed the nation, when she said, Jesus filled this room, was immediate, just this, wow.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like at the memorial yesterday,
which was amazing.
But I feel like when she said, Jesus on the cross cried out to God and said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And she said, that man, that young man, and she paused.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what was coming. And she said, I forgive him. And for her
that
to
was
publicly
such a powerful statement,
profess to the world, I forgive him. And she'd made a statement where she said, I cannot ask for the death penalty of that young man.
I don't want the blood on my hands.
I don't want that blood on my hands. How am I supposed to go before my Savior when I die? And he says, an eye for an eye. Is that what we're doing now?
Yep.
No. Like, that can't be my salvation. And that's powerful.
And for that to keep me from getting into heaven and to be with Charlie, no.
And so that's where I feel like, and for the 3 listeners we may have outside of our family who may fall off from listening to us.
Absolutely not.
We're viral. We're a viral sensation.
No, but I think the people who truly care about us I think they get to see a different side of us for people who don't get to have these conversations every day, like family and friends that don't sit like we do right now and have these conversations. Yeah. I think they get to truly get a different perspective. I
think so. But I feel like this is where it comes into, it's good and evil. It is good versus evil. 100%. And I feel like watching that yesterday, say what you will about right versus left. I've voted different ways my whole life. I vote for the person, not the party. So I have voted both sides.
Yeah, I have too.
I have. I've never been a Tucker Carlson fan, more so in the recent year or so. But when he got up yesterday and said what he said in his boldness, in everything going on with Israel and Gaza and everything. And finally, Charlie was saying, like, this isn't the Israel of the Bible.
Right.
And this is genocide and somebody needs to stand up. He was saying a lot.
Have you seen what Candace Owens is saying?
It's insane. But for Tucker Carlson, and I want to get to that, but for Tucker Carlson yesterday to stand up and to say, this guy 2,000 years ago was speaking truth and was saying truth, and they wanted to shut him up,
right?
And they couldn't get him to shut up, and so they were like, well, we'll just kill him, and that'll shut him up,
right?
And it did the exact opposite. It created a movement. It created Christianity and all these people, and he likened that to the same thing, basically. Like Charlie Kirk was changing. He was talking about, I can't support Israel like I used to. I can't support where they are. And he was questioning everybody, and he was questioning our government. And he's questioning, and going against it. And
people didn't like that.
People didn't like it. And people were warning him. And, the day before he was being warned. And so for Tucker Carlson to go at his memorial and compare the two and say, basically what they did to Jesus is exactly what was done to him.
Yep.
That was bold.
Yes.
That was bold of Tucker Carlson. And then to say, all he said about living in faith and being bold for Christ. And then I liked Marco Rubio. I thought he was
I didn't get to see that one.
He was very well spoken, and he just
which he normally is.
Yeah, it was very clearly about faith, but I think you had to use some discernment. There was a couple of people who spoke who it very much seemed like someone else wrote it for them and they were just reading the words. Like you could tell those who seemed to be filled with the Holy Spirit and to like actually be there saying what they needed to say or filled with that peace. You could tell those people who were genuine. And then you could tell the 2 or 3 who basically someone said, hey, this is what this is about. Read this. We've prepared it for you.
Right.
You could instantly tell
it
was a different presence. It was very cold. It was very, and you had to have that discernment from it. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. But I think going back to what you were saying, I think it's amazing the amount of people who have come to Christ since this happened.
And even before, though.
And even before.
Have you seen the amount of people, whether it's on social media or out? I'm going into coffee shops and I'm seeing Bible studies. And this is before the assassination. And I'm seeing just how many people are leaning into Christ.
Yeah.
And now after this, they caused a revival.
They did.
And the look in Erica Kirk's face, you can see the awoken lioness. She is going to be one to reckon with.
Yeah. And I think that's also a topic to discuss at some point, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out because, again, even amongst Christians, there are those Christians who say, oh, yeah, she is, as you say. And then there are those who say, oh, well, she was behind it. She was the bad side. You hear all of those things too. Like, oh, if you watch her, she's behind this. She's got this history. She's not who she says she is. And she's playing a game. She's playing a role. She's behind a mask. And it's like never ending.
Right.
You can never please enough people.
Right.
When it's really like, can't she just be a grieving widow?
Right.
Can't she just be a grieving mother? And can't she just actually be living for Christ? Because you look at it before this happened, right? She's got years of running her own ministry and touring and doing all of this. This isn't just, she just started this,
right?
But yeah, Candace Owens.
Holy moly.
I'm afraid for her life.
Yeah.
Although the only thing that has saved her is that she is so outspoken that if something happens to her.
Candace Owens.
So I think the interesting thing is Candace Owens, how she said, all these people are like, she needs to stop. This is not okay. This is, she's causing conflict and this is basically just shut up. Right. But when she came out and she said, there's only two people who can shut me up.
Yeah.
My husband and Erica Kirk. And neither one of them has said anything.
Nope.
Erica Kirk hasn't. And in fact, I don't know if this is true. I haven't gone to look and, I should, but what I see online. Well, right. And what I've seen online is now Erica Kirk is apparently following her on social media, has just started following her. Like, why would she do that? Maybe that's wrong. We can fact check that.
Why wouldn't she have been following her?
I don't know.
Like, because from when they were nobody, they were together. Candace and Charlie, which I really found it awesome. Did you see the video of the one that Candace Owen posted about, them growing up and taking road trips and them dancing and having fun? And I mean, I really thought that was a great tribute to Charlie.
And Erica Kirk is going to be on a podcast tonight.
Who is?
Erica Kirk. Is it tonight?
But Candace Owen straight up said she was not going to the memorial. She didn't need to go. She was going to put Power on repeat from Kanye West, and she was going to jam that, and that's the best way she can do it.
I don't blame her for not wanting to go either. I mean,
No.
As much as they're basically collectively against her and trying to shut her up and lying. Like the amount of people who were just straight up lying. And that's the thing is.
But she called out Bibi not.
Yeah.
I can't.
Bibi.
Netanyahu.
Bibi. Yeah. But even some people with Turning Point.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to see that one.
Yeah.
Well, I know like she went after Charlie Kirk's, supposed pastor after him. He said what he said. But I truly believe that Candace knew Charlie. She really knew Charlie, right? And I believe that she really knew Erica, and they were together, and they both were together when Charlie met Erica, and then when Candace met her husband, and I believe they were great friends. And I think she's in the right for raging for her best friend. I don't think she's in the wrong, and she's calling out everybody.
I think she should.
I said too, but I think people need to listen.
Who do you think shot him? You think it was the kid?
A lot of questions. One thing I saw was, I've been watching a lot of videos and trying to understand what happened, right? Why was there a screwdriver up there? Did he take apart the rifle and then ditch the rifle in the woods afterwards, but the rifle was put back together in a sheet or whatever it was?
Or could he take it apart in 6 seconds and change clothes?
Right. No. I am curious to see where this investigation goes.
Apparently
it's amazing that we know.
FBI say they were done.
Well, it's amazing that we know more about
all the things.
Right. And then you see the guy with like touching his hat and then this and then the, I've watched it. I seen the video when it first came out and I was like, I will never watch that again.
It was awful.
I don't mind watching people get blown up. I don't mind. I can do all that. But to see the murder and assassination of a man for free speech, I will not ever watch that video again.
It was awful.
I don't know.
I don't think we'll ever know.
I don't think so either, because there's stuff coming out about the letter that BB wrote that was dated and the dates didn't match up, but it was like a sorry for Kirk's death to Erica or to Turning Point. And
yeah. And now they're saying there's basically like JFK, it's the magic bullet theory, right? There's this one bullet, and the doctor apparently said he was so fit and his spine was so strong that it caught the bullet. And so there was no exit wound, and, there was no exit point for it. And this, it's just nothing makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So then it just comes down to it. Here's my conspiracy.
Yeah.
Was it CIA? Was it Israel? Was it Israel and CIA working together?
Right.
Is it higher than that?
Right.
Was it our own government? Was it, Trump and them said, hey, stop talking about Israel, stop asking questions? Was it what is it?
If I had to be a guessing man, because I do not know, let's make that very clear. I do not know.
None of us know, right?
From what I've only seen, and if I had to pick somebody like that, I would say that it was Israel, because he was just recently coming out and disagreeing, and a lot of money was being offered to him and he turned it down. And there was a lot of people unhappy with the decisions that he was making at Turning Point. And
Netanyahu's come out, what do they say now, 7 times since it happened, and said, I didn't kill him. No one else has done that.
Okay, release the full letter.
But why do you feel like you need to come out and say 7 times I didn't do this?
Right.
No one else has done that.
Because everyone's like, he had him killed.
Yeah. But why would you say anything if you didn't? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah. It's awful and it's sad. And then there's the people talking conspiracies, the other side of TikTok, because I love TikTok. It's where I get all my entertainment.
I love it.
The other side of TikTok is he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
Right.
He's living, especially with what's his name? The FBI director, Kash Patel.
Yeah.
When he said see you in Valhalla.
Yeah.
Which is in New Zealand or something. And that's one side says, oh, that's where warriors go.
Right. That's what we think of it as.
Correct. And someone else says, no, that's a place in New Zealand. And that if you look, when this kid who they arrested had a screen up on his computer and it showed Valhalla, New Zealand on it. And so that's like a tie that's where they took Charlie Kirk. It's like, you don't think someone superimposed that? You don't think that can be AI? Like, come on, we're reaching here, right?
Right.
And so there's all these people who are like, no, he's not dead. And that's not Erica Kirk. That was AI the first time. She didn't actually address the nation. That was an AI, and that they're gone. And if you look at photos of them, that's not them anymore. And that I saw something today on TikTok where this guy was going down this thing, and he says that the camera or whatever behind him wasn't a gun, right? But he showed online how you can buy these, and they're holograms essentially, and they create they do a projection, and it projected what happened, that he was shot. Essentially, made me think of Mission Impossible. There was the Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise goes in and he's got the mask and stuff on, and I think they're in Russia, and they're going into the place, and they have that screen where they pull it up, and it's like a hologram, and they're moving. Right. Basically, it's like that. That's what it does. Okay. And so it projects something totally different. Well, this is what the guy said was happening. I hate that. Yeah. This is what the guy said was happening. And so he showed these online, and you can buy them from $30,000 to $150,000.
Right.
And so he said that what he believes is they were projecting a hologram, and that it shows him getting shot, but there was a trap door and he actually got away, and now they're witness protection. And
a trap door in the middle of a field that
correct
on a university in Utah.
Right. Which is why there was no hospital, anything going on. There was no one there. There was no records at the hospital. No one has said anything from the hospital. There's no X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And so the conspiracies are wild.
Wild. People are wild.
People are wild. And I'm here for it because it's so entertaining.
And I feel that there are some truly people that believe this. All of it. Yeah.
What do those people do for jobs?
I can tell you the people who made fun and celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, what they do for jobs, are currently unemployed. Talk about hallelujah.
That has been kind of, now I don't wish bad things on anyone, because then I'm becoming like them, right?
No, correct.
However, it is kind of entertaining to see celebration and joy for something so awful, and then to see them literally cry and say, I can't believe that I just because I spoke about something, I've lost my job. Do you know what that's going to do to me?
Right.
I can't even speak and I've lost my job because I was speaking. Dude lost his life for
A family
speaking.
lost their father.
Yeah.
Their
you lost your
husband.
job. Somebody lost their life. Come on.
Yeah, but I think that takes us back to the demons are real.
Yes.
Evil is real, and it is 100% spiritual warfare. And I think demons are 100%
fallen
real.
angels, demons. Yeah. And again, and I think that only people who understand spiritual warfare are going to believe in that.
100%.
It's
but I can
good
say,
versus evil.
You need to read the gospel.
Yes.
And you need to repent.
1,000%.
That's how we get through this.
I just started reading The Case for Christ, Lee Grobel. I don't know if you've ever read that.
I haven't read that one, no, but I
movie.
just heard of it. Yeah.
Seen the movie or read it. It's back. He did it. It was back in like 1980, and he was a reporter for the Chicago Tribune. And basically, he set out to disprove his wife.
Okay.
Because he was an atheist, and she came around, and she, this incident occurred in a restaurant, and a lady saved their daughter, gave her the Heimlich, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we can never repay you." And she said, "Well, it was Jesus, right?"
Yeah.
And he's so upset that his atheist belief and his wife, that she's believing in something so atrocious as Jesus, that he sets out to disprove it and ends up proving Jesus was real and believing. And it's the case for Christ, and it's amazing. And I think that it's so interesting when people say that. It's like, in order to believe atheism, I feel like in order to see and believe something so dark and so evil, you have to believe that there's good too. Like, you can't just believe in darkness. You have to believe in something good.
But that's where we come in, and we need to bring the light to the darkness, because
shine our brightness.
Because there's one thing that darkness hates, and that is light, because it can't win, because our Lord is undefeated and he's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I think it takes us back to as well, like, for what the devil meant for evil, God will intend for good. And I think we're going to see the good in all of this.
Well, and I think it has to be said because it's September 22nd. And this doesn't come out until October. So we have the ability to, once this is released, then jump ahead and talk about it. Because right now, it's, of course, rapture talk everywhere. And it happens every September, with Feast of Trumpets coming out. And this year, of course, it is rapture talk again, September 23rd and 24th, all over the place because of Feast of Trumpets. And now they're saying it's this year because it's the only year that it could possibly align with all the things and tribulation and everything else. And so, the whole world stage is watching the 23rd and 24th again. And for rapture. And now they're saying that this whole event with Charlie Kirk was basically done by our government to again, by they, I mean conspiracy theorists that I see on the socials, that it's a way for our government to pull one over on us and using AI. And that recently, when Trump said online, when they were talking about moving, was it all the space stuff? Was it space stuff? Or were they moving to Alabama recently? They're moving something. But, and he said, AI is a wonderful thing. AI is going to be able to do amazing things. He's talking about this, right? And so, it makes you wonder, like, with all the talk about it and all the spiritual warfare and all of the Israel stuff going on and all of the two-state stuff going on between, with Gaza and just everything going on right now, that is biblical. Is there going to be some kind of great deception that tries to occur? Right. Does the government try to use AI to do something? Right. Does that happen? And I saw somebody on TikTok. Again, TikTok. I don't get all my news from TikTok. I just think it's entertaining, right? It's just entertaining. Right. But this guy was saying he had been in Israel and he lives in the U.S. He had been there. He was coming back from there. And he said, his message is, don't believe anything you hear on the 24th and 25th, no matter what the American government tries to say. It is a huge deception. And they're going to use AI and they're going to deceive and blah, 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 blah. And so, you hear all this stuff and it's just crazy. And so now I'm like curious, right? In a week when we record, or in 2 weeks, we're going to be like, oh, isn't that crazy what happened, what they tried to do, or what the media said? And we'll see.
What was it that they just Congress just passed to not release the Epstein files? Was that during the day he was killed, right? Is that, and they decided not to release?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was because he was pushing for that too.
Release the damn files.
Just release them.
Release the files.
Release them. Yeah.
You don't get that choice. You don't get to make that decision. I think we as the American people.
And it'll never happen.
And if it does, it's going to be a long.
Yeah. Well, and again.
But even then, we're just now getting JFK files. We're just now getting Martin Luther King files.
Yeah. It won't happen until all these people are dead.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason for the MLK
and past
stuff.
that, right? Because then these people have families, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much. It's exhausting.
It is.
Here's another conspiracy.
Let's go.
Do we live in a simulation?
Man, it feels like it.
It
feels
Space
like
Command.
it.
That's what Donald Trump is moving from Colorado to Alabama. They would just announced they were moving the big Space Command Center there. And when he said that, he said something about AI. Let me see. I'm going to look it up here.
Moving to Huntsville, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Oh, September 2nd, Biden's reversal.
Here's the thing, right? Like, you would think that the Biden administration, had Trump been all over the Epstein files like they're saying, the Biden administration would have released it. But they can't because of all the Democrats in it, too. And this goes back to not right versus left or Democrat versus Republican. It's good and evil. They're all in it.
Again.
They're all in it. You know, it didn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, right? They're not the good versus the evil. They're all evil. There's parts evil, parts good. But that's mixed party lines. That's why they can't release the files. And
There's
they won't.
Way too many high-powered people involved.
And you look again, Epstein was what? Related to Israel.
Okay.
You know?
CIA?
Yeah.
CIA plant?
Yeah.
Plant? I think so.
Yeah.
Why not take an idiot, charismatic guy who, I mean, you hear people talk about him that
he didn't know anything about business.
Didn't know anything about the financial world, anything. And you're just like, things that make you go. So
I know that Israel now is not Israel of the Bible.
No, absolutely not.
And what they're doing to Gaza is complete genocide.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think, again, good and evil.
Yeah. What do you think's happening with this 3-eye atlas?
What is that?
The giant space thing that's about to cross over.
I'm not familiar with that.
How are you not familiar with that? You can't put that in there if you don't know what that is.
3-eye atlas?
I'm literally eating my microphone right now.
Does it taste good? It's going to sound all muffled now.
The big mothership thing. Like NASA came out with this. It's been like 6 weeks. It was supposed to be here in December, then November, then October. Now it's like any day now. And it's bigger than Manhattan and it's going to pass the Earth. And they were like, oh, it's a comet. It's a comet. Now they're like, no, it's not a comet. It could be a spacecraft. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And NASA's talking about it, and there's all this crap, and yeah, it's all over the place.
Interstellar object to pass through our solar system. The first one, 2017, Rosal, discovered first spotted July 1st of 2025. The Atlas Telescope, asteroid testosterone, terrestrial impact, last solar system, path motion, hyperbolic. Also has water, ice, water vapor, carbon monoxide, and small amounts of other volatiles. Some emissions, like cyanide, were recently detected. Okay, so what are we worried about?
Bigger than Mount Everest. Well, they're saying they don't know if it's going to pass by the Earth, break off and hit the Earth, or totally hit the Earth. But it's bigger than Mount Everest, bigger than the island of Manhattan.
What do you want to move on to? So we've talked about a little bit about Everwell. We've talked about trends in the medical world.
Let me just eat
Okay.
applesauce while we talk. I think aliens are demons or fallen angels. What do you think?
I haven't heard that one. You don't think that there's other life forms outside of this Earth in the solar system?
I mean, I think there could be.
You think we're alone?
Do you think they're green or do you think they're gray?
I think there's both.
Where do you think they live?
Under the ocean.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go deep in the ocean, there's like alien-like things.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't.
But what about the people who say they see like the UFOs and I guess we call them UFOs anymore.
UAPs.
UAPs. Yeah. I'm going to keep calling them UFOs because I'm
old school.
Old.
Yeah.
That say that they see them coming in and out of the ocean. And the ocean is deep.
So deep. Scary deep.
It's like Mesopotamia, like cities built on top of cities on top of cities and ocean on top of oceans. And when God flooded the earth from Noah's Ark, like he flooded everything.
Right.
Here's another one. What about the fact that the what are they called? The giants,
David and Goliath.
Pause. Stay with me here. I'm going to show you this. So people say God flooded the earth, the Nephilim, which were the giants, right? The sons of man.
Yep.
So they say that when he flooded the earth, those giants became mountains. So if you look, right, like that looks like someone laying on their side.
It sure does.
Right?
Yeah.
And then like this looks almost like
Oh my
a
gosh.
face.
It is a face.
And then of course like feet.
That's why.
And then these are like mountains.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
And these are like real. Like these are actually like mountains. Look at this one.
No.
I don't know how real that one is. But where's the lady?
Like in Moana? Where are these located?
So massive that
Woman. Looks like somebody.
bodies so vast that
Weird.
That is so cool. We live in an amazing world.
Yeah. All right. You get to heaven and you get to ask Jesus one thing
Oh, jeez.
and get the answer to one question. What do you ask? I heard someone ask this online and the guy goes, I would say, how many steps did I take in my life?
Okay.
Like, I don't care to know that. I
Yeah.
want to know some secret.
Would you like a secret?
I
Okay.
want to know something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
And mine is like, what is my purpose? I feel like I have struggled with that. And so I feel like,
What was my purpose on earth?
yeah, what was my purpose on earth? It's the first thing that came to my mind. Because I still feel like I ask that now.
Do you still feel like you don't know your purpose
Yes.
as a public servant?
Yes. Because it's natural to me.
Yeah. To be
To
a public
do-
servant.
I guess just it's my natural
Yeah. I see that.
thing. So I just feel like, I guess that is my purpose. But like,
But you're good at that. I mean,
but
given your
truly,
military
what is
background.
my purpose? Like, truly, like, what is my purpose? And it could be anything from.
I think everybody feels that way. I mean, I feel that way.
But I think that would be the question I asked.
I wonder if that's the most asked question.
We should chat GPT it.
I wonder if when you die, you know what you died from.
Once you die and your soul leaves your body and you're like,
Like you die. I wonder if you know what you died from.
or if you died at all.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because I've seen that. I've read some things like, if you die,
Huh?
do you know that you're no longer in a living flesh and you're just, obviously you're in,
From one realm to another.
and this was just a blink of an eye and experience for the soul.
I read something once. It wasn't too long ago. It said something about, don't mourn too hard for those who've gone on. I'm trying to remember what it said. Something like, don't mourn too hard for those who've gone on, because to them, by the time they miss you and they turn around and look for you, you're already there with them. Like, that's how
Wow.
time passes.
Right.
I would assume in heaven.
Yeah.
I think hell, it's different.
Mm.
But I think in
That's
heaven.
always scary too.
Yeah. Well, and I think it is, and that's a deeper discussion, because as Christians, you and I believe that, the only way to the Father is through the Son. And so the only way to heaven is through salvation and through recognition of Jesus Christ as Lord and accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior and
Yeah.
recognizing that and that he died for us and he was risen 3 days later. And so by that salvation, we gain entry into the next life, into heaven. And there's a lot of people who don't believe that. There's a lot of people who just think their good works and good deeds will get them into heaven. And
Right.
that if they're a good person. In fact, someone said to me not long ago, I tell you what, I've been through a lot, and the amount of good stuff I've been doing lately, I better have a good spot in heaven.
That doesn't matter.
It hurt my heart.
Yeah, that hurts because
Because it's somebody I love.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing. It's somebody I love who, this is tough, who I have not specifically said those words of, this is the only way. And I think that comes down to it's hard. Comes down to a deeper thing of, and it's not embarrassment. It's if I say this to that person, that friendship may be over.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
someone that I love very much. But if I
Yeah.
don't, then when I go to heaven or when that person dies, is it going to be Jesus that says, well, that person's not here because you did not do this?
No, I
And
think
what
I think-
stops us from doing that?
Right. I think just the more that you speak about your faith and you keep planting those seeds, right? We're not here, we're not Bible thumpers, we're not doing anything, but I think if you keep planting those seeds, and it may come up in conversation of just you're making a statement and not saying, hey, unfortunately you're going to hell because you refuse to believe this, right? We're not going to go about it that way.
Right.
But I feel like if you keep planting those seeds when you're talking to that person, and, if it comes up in conversation and, you just casually make a statement that says, hey, like, the only way into heaven is through our Savior.
Yeah, like you can do all the good deeds and that's wonderful. Like I'm so proud of
That's
you for doing good things and
what you
doing
need to
good work.
confess with your tongue
But
and believe.
you also have to recognize that Jesus is your savior and
Yes.
you have to accept that and profess that. Yeah. Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard to do that with people you're closest to? Those should be the people that were the most willing to say, "Hey, I love you, so I'm going to do this."
Because you want them to go to heaven.
But I think it's that fear of I'm not willing to it's weird. It's like that fear of I'm not willing to gamble losing this friendship and this relationship that I have with this person, this friendship that I love. I'm not willing to lose that, but I am willing to, in a way, risk their salvation by not having that conversation.
That's very hard
Yeah.
because what you're dealing with is in the flesh, right? That is in the flesh. It does. And I think the time will come when the Spirit will speak to you and it's like, okay, you need to do this. But I think that you have to be obedient to that. And if the Spirit is telling you to do it and you don't, that's not being obedient to God, right?
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with that as well.
Yeah.
Like to listening to the Spirit and be like, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm not
Right.
ready.
But He's there for you.
But isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Hey, I can go to the coffee shop and tell
Everybody
a
about
stranger
Jesus.
about Jesus.
Yeah. But the people closest to us, I'm struggling right now with one that in my family that's very hard. And I currently at this moment don't have it in me because it's gonna cause a rift in our family. And I'm battling the same thing and I know Katie is too. We're trying to work through and we keep praying about it and praying that, they will come too. And it is rough.
It's hard.
And it's very hard.
And so, I feel like I'm doing all the things without saying all the things. And
Right.
maybe I just need to say the things. But yeah, it's
And then you kind of feel like, is that my place? Right? I feel like you did.
I don't know, because I'm like, how much more can I do? Well, I haven't said the
Right.
words. So I guess I have to have the conversation. And if I have the conversation and the person says, I get it, enough, then at least I've done
Then you
my
did your part, right? But to end a friendship over that or to end a relationship over that, do you think that it would go that far?
I don't think it would end it.
Right.
I think that, and I could be wrong, I think where I think it would end up is, okay, I hear you. And just kind of like.
And that's the decision that they will make. And that's what they'll have to answer to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? Because our mission is to make heaven crowded.
Yes. Charlie Kirk. I just honestly, right? And since that happened, I just want to be able to, I want to know that when I go to heaven, I want Jesus to look at me and say, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Not, I never knew you, because that scares me.
Yeah.
That truly, like in my soul, in my heart, like to get to heaven and to say, I never knew you.
And for you to think, I've done all these things. Again, going back to I've done all these good things.
Right. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But it's like, but it's not just good things. Like I know
it does,
in my soul, I know in my heart,
right.
I know what I believe.
Right.
But then you always battle that, what if?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the devil.
But we all sin, right? We all sin. No, there's no one perfect. We all sin. Gosh, this is deep.
Yeah.
But it's real. And I think it's deep and I think it's real because of where we are the last few weeks. It's heavy. It's crazy the amount of patients who came in the last couple of weeks and just so many people are like, just said it out loud. It's heavy. I feel heavy. There's a heaviness,
all over the world.
Everywhere. That's what's so crazy is how many, is how it says, the Bible says how many people, basically everybody needs to know the name of Jesus before he can come again. Right. And it has to be. And think about all the people who don't know, who've never heard, who've born into villages and, just cannot. And then you think about this impact and they literally called it the shot heard round the world. Right. And the impact and, you see online people in Vietnam and all these different places who are just like.
In Korea.
I'm going to go.
Japan.
In Israel. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go. And in those places, in a lot of these places, they are literally being killed for having a Bible.
Yeah.
They have to do this underground and in private.
Yep.
And we're lucky enough that we don't have to do that. God forbid there come a time, right? But I think that that's another thing is it's just amazing how powerful and how quickly, which again goes back to, as we've said since the beginning today, good and evil. It's clearly separating very quickly good and evil.
You can easily
Even on
can
my
easily
Facebook
tell.
feed with friends and
Yeah.
acquaintances,
Yes.
the people who are posting,
They're making a bigger deal over Jimmy Kimmel losing his job than the assassination
Yeah.
of somebody getting
and they're
killed for
talking
their
about freedom of
opinion.
speech.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel's freedom of speech is taken away
Right.
from him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have family, call them family, that are putting this stuff out online, and I let the anger,
Mhm.
right? The anger and the frustration in the flesh, right?
Mhm.
I really have to take a step back and I have to go and pray about it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I get so worked up of like, what are you not seeing? What are you not understanding? Like, look what just happened, and you are on the complete opposite side of this evilness.
Yes.
And I'm like, it hurts.
You know,
No,
you don't have to have liked him and stood by him.
and I can say here, I don't necessarily have to agree with everything that he said or everything he stood for.
In fact, it's funny how
But-
many people I've heard who've said, yeah, I wasn't sure what he stood for, or, I never really listened to a lot, or I was familiar with him, but not really. And I went and listened. And the amount of people, several handfuls of people
Yeah.
that I've heard who said, actually, I agree with him. And I actually am more conservative than he was.
Right. Yeah.
So what does
Yeah.
that say? Like, I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're so blinded by
Mhm.
this evil media that is spreading all of this false narrative and lies. And they are so blinded and follow what CNN says and what their Facebook, because they're so trapped in this
Yeah.
echo chamber of hate Donald Trump,
Yeah.
hate Charlie Kirk,
Mhm.
hate anything right, hate anything God, hate anything this, hate anything that. And they are so just walking with their blinders on, like, okay, I'm blindly following what my X account says or
Yeah.
my Facebook says, because
Which is why Christians get so much hate, is because Christians are linked primarily to the right, or Christians are primarily linked to conservatism. And so if you're Christian, then you're, and the amount of people who say, well, Christians are full of hate and they're
Right.
full of judgment.
Can you prove that, please? Because I have not met one Christian man or woman who has never wished me anything but wellness, prosperity, happiness. And I have not always been Christian. It hasn't been but the last 2 years that I actually found God and found Jesus. This is still more new to me. And, of course, you have these opinions of Bible thumpers,
Mhm.
and my God, they're just these people. That's not the
I think there are areas where it is the case where it's bad. Like, for example,
Correct.
like the mega churches, right?
Right.
And I saw,
Yes.
the podcasts where they talk about, if you want to see true evil and you want to see true corruption and you really want to mess with people, don't get into drugs, don't mess with the cartel. Open a mega church. Talk about brainwashing and money laundering. And like, it is insane, which is why so many people get a bad taste in their mouth about God and about Christianity and leave the church and leave the faith, because they're growing up in these huge mega churches that are putting on productions, and it's all about money, and it's that's just,
Like that mega church pastor, Kenneth Copeland.
oh man,
You
who
can,
literally,
the
like,
Antichrist, devil, demonic, you can see it.
awful.
You can feel it. My
Joel
gosh.
Osteen.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, like buried in cash, like underneath
It's crazy.
that church. And
Is it Elevation Church that yeah,
which one?
Stephen Furtick. He was the pastor at Elevation Church and hasn't said anything about Charlie Kirk, and hasn't come out and said anything. And then I guess an Elevation Church is huge for just their presence and their worship and everything. Right. And then their youth pastor actually spoke negatively about it and was one of the ones that was kind of laughing and dancing when Charlie Kirk was killed, and
She removed.
she was removed.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
I remember
stuff
hearing
like
about that. Yeah.
So yeah, you see stuff like that, and it's like, okay, no wonder people say, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of something so bad.
Yeah. And, but I can tell you, the Sunday after Charlie Kirk died,
Mhm.
and church, my service was overflowing a little bit. I can tell you, yesterday at service, every service was overflowing. And it was so amazing to see, just to see the overflow.
It's amazing.
It was so amazing.
And I've heard that many churches have they have people they can't even fit and they're just
Yeah.
standing.
Yeah.
Just standing around.
We had to put chairs out in our lobby so people could see. Luckily, we're moving into a much bigger church next month, which I'm really excited for.
Is that the one they're building out?
On
outside our neighborhood?
1431?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. City Reach.
That's awesome. I love it.
Shout out to City Reach and Pastor Chris. So he's amazing. He's some buff Marine. But yeah, right up my alley. And most churches are women led in the past and prior. Like, it's more, a lot is feminine led.
No, not that I know of.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, every church I've ever been is male. Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to say something different then. This one is very much I don't know how to say it. He's a Marine.
He's a guy's guy.
He's a guy's guy.
Yeah.
And so it's getting a lot of
He's going to scare you into Jesus.
He has a lot of these men that are just, very biblical.
Yeah.
Right. It's all scripture.
Yeah.
Bible based.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says. There's nothing added, taken away.
Yeah. I love that.
So it's awesome.
It's like Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell. Have you seen him?
Amazing. Amazing. I love his energy. And they call him a brimstone fire hell preacher or whatever they call it.
But he just preaches the word.
It's literally, it's in the book.
Yeah.
And I love when he picks it up and drops
and
it. And I watch his videos.
He's shamed. And he's like, you don't like it or I'm offending you? Sorry.
Get out.
It's the word of God.
Yeah.
He said, Connor and I were listening to a clip of his, I think it was yesterday evening. And it said, hey, listen, we are not a black church. I think there's a misconception that we're a black church. We're not a black church. We're a church of any melanin. We don't care if you're white, if you're yellow, if you're brown, or if you're black. We welcome all the melanins in our church. Yeah. And so we were just cracking up. And he was like, there's a misconception.
Yeah.
You can come here, anybody.
Yeah. And what's awesome is you see people from all around the world going to that church. It's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Is it Atlanta?
And they drive. There was one, I saw a video recently, maybe a couple months ago, where a guy and his wife and their kids drove from, I think, Canada.
Yeah. I think maybe that's the video I see.
Drove from Canada there, literally sold everything they had to make the trip. Oh. And they were like, we just want to be here. And he was like, can you help me get a job? I just want to serve in the ministry. And
yeah. Okay. I did see that video.
It was amazing. Yeah. And, just incredible. But his message, I mean, the thing he does is he does what other preachers and pastors don't most of the time. I don't want to say others don't, but most of them. And what I grew up in is they're preaching to make you feel good.
Right.
They're preaching to make you want to give money, to grow the church, to grow bigger buildings, and to do all that, which you need the space.
You do. And
he's preaching to save souls. He's preaching to get people. He's preaching to make heaven crowded.
Yeah.
And he's not doing it in fluff, and he's not doing it, a feel-good sermon. Every single Sunday or every single sermon he does is strictly about salvation and winning people to Christ. That's it.
And I can tell you, I wouldn't trust any church or any pastor that has not brought up the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah.
The assassination. If that pastor is not bringing it up and making it a deal that this faithful Christian man was just assassinated for his beliefs, and you're not preaching about it, I'm sorry, I don't trust. I'm not going to your church.
Yeah.
And if that's happening in your church and your preacher has not brought it up, you need to find a new church.
Be questioned.
Yeah. And I'll say that you need to find a new church. If your preacher has not, or your pastor has not brought this up, you need to find a new church.
And the only reason I can think of that someone wouldn't bring it up is because they're too afraid to offend people. And that means they're afraid to lose people that would give money.
Exactly.
It's financial.
Exactly. Was Jesus ever scared about offending anybody?
Jesus flipped tables.
Come on.
Come on now.
Let's go.
That's crazy. Our podcast today has really just been heavy.
Like a heavy and pinballish.
Yeah, but also very all about faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very, like you said, it's heavy on what's happening right now.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we're changing. I think our world and our culture, you hear about shifts and stuff. I feel like there really is a shift happening right now. There's an evangelical shift. There's a revival shift. There is a God shift happening.
Well, that spirit is on the move.
Palatable. This is where I become a rapper.
That's going to be a short. I'm going to be like, yeah.
Can you do it? Rap? Wait, don't you got to hold the mic and be like, no. Wait, then you got to get the triangle.
Drums going back here.
Never make music.
Ever. I would. No.
It's amazing.
I am the most unmusical talented thing walking this earth.
Whole situation.
No.
No.
I can't even play a bongo. Come on. And all that is hitting a piece of leather on a bucket. No.
We got bongos upstairs. Sounds weird. I think they were Edison's when he was little. They're like little baby.
I wish that I was musically talented.
Yeah. I like to pretend I am.
I feel like I can listen for very good music and instrumentals and in voice. I do have, I would say, that talent. Like I can hear it. I cannot play. I cannot sing. I cannot do anything, but I can hear it. And so I was like, growing up, that's what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to be like a music producer, and that was the direction I wanted to go. And then, of course, 30 years later, and I'm a police officer on minimum wage.
Yeah, I like listen to the same 25 songs over and over. So
I just put on 92.5, the Air One worship station, or the app, and yeah. Either that or I'm listening to the Joe Rogan podcast when he has some good people on.
Yeah. Let's go get on Joe Rogan.
Your friend is coming up about to do that in October?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. You should text her and be like, hey, shout out Badges and Badges.
All the things.
Not all the things.
All
Everwell.
If
they're local in Austin, Texas, like shout out to Everwell Health.
We should get on. How do we get on Joe Rogan?
I think he finds you.
Well, he needs to find us.
Well, we gotta get some episodes down.
Maybe if we rap Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan. That was good, right?
Yeah.
No.
With a horrible slogan.
He's gonna be like
playing on my organ.
Please delete these people.
I know. Delete them off the internet.
Man, no. What are you researching over there?
Well, I was just seeing this Nephilim. I have never seen this before.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nephilim, apparently, it talks about it in the Bible. In Genesis, it talks about the Nephilim. And so the Nephilim are the fallen angels. So the fallen angels, basically, Satan fell. So the first sin ever wasn't actually Eve eating the apple. The first sin ever was Satan in heaven when he gathered all the angels with him.
Which is crazy to see the amount of angels that he was able to gather.
And the crazy thing about Satan is that he was the angel over worship and music. Right.
And look what's happening now.
And you look at the music industry and how demonic, right? So makes sense. So that was the first sin committed, was Satan in heaven, and he fell. And then all these angels fell with him. And so the sons of God, or the angels, lay with the daughters of man and so Nephilim, right? And they had these babies and these children, and they were giants.
Yeah.
And they're talked about in the Bible. And there's, people talk about the book of Enoch and was it removed from the Bible and what was removed. And, when Constantine held this, I don't want to say mass or meeting or whatever and removed certain books of the Bible, was that one of them? And why? And why were all these different books of the Bible removed when it says in the Bible nothing is to be taken away or added to? Well, what was taken away and why? What deception? And there are thoughts that Thomas wrote a book or a gospel and that Mary Magdalene might have written one. And so there's all these different books. And so you talk about the Nephilim and the fallen angels, and the different things reading is that when the flood occurred, it was because God wanted to cleanse the bad seed where the essentially the satanic seed had mixed with the pure seed. And so by doing that, Noah's lineage would have been pure, and the seed of Eden, which child was out of, not Eden, of Eve's, was Seth, right? And then Seth goes on and goes down the lineage, and the lineage of King David, which then leads to Jesus, and on and on and on. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to read about the Nephilim and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Very interesting. And I've never seen these mountains. Yeah. So now I am like,
you got to go look.
Yeah.
So that's a theory, is our mountains, and again, it's a theory, right? Are some of these mountains the remains of these fallen angels, fallen angels or Nephilim or demons that were fossilized during the floods?
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or are they just mountain formations?
Right.
Maybe that's a question I'll ask.
God is so good.
It's so just, who knows?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I can tell you, I'd much rather believe in our Lord and Savior than not. If that's what it takes.
What harm does it cause? But what is it? It's people who are like, you're delusional. I'd rather be delusional
than to spend an eternity in hell.
Yes. And, I've heard it taught that I've had different teachers in the church and stuff that have taught about hell is basically your own personal hell, right? And so hell is your own personal hell. So like whatever your greatest sin is what your hell is, So it makes you think, right? Think about the Epsteins of the world, Yeah. Is that like a reversal? Like, did they become a child?
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Or are they abused in some way for the rest of eternity? Like,
Right.
I mean, that's awful to think about,
Right.
but you think about your own personal hell, right? Like,
behind bars in hell,
yeah.
being tormented with that.
Oh.
No,
No.
Like-
Why would you even risk that?
repent and read the gospel.
That's it. That's all I can say.
There was one thing that what were we talking about? There was something I was going to bring up. I saw this painting called Checkmate the other day, and I'll pull it up on the screen here.
Oh,
If
I
I
see
can
it.
you can see it. So there's a picture of the devil sitting across from a man who looks defeated. And this is hanging up in a museum. And of course, you bring in, there's these, they're doing a tour, like a private tour of all these all-stars from all these different sports and champions from all these different games. And you're sitting here and you're looking at the image of this, right? And you're breaking it down. And if I'm not able to get this image up, basically what you're looking at is you're looking at the devil sitting across, kind of smirking and smiling. And you have another guy sitting across from the table, kind of looking defeated. And you have the angel looking down at the chessboard. And this guy, he's staring at this painting, and the tour continues and they go off, and the tour guide kind of comes back. He's like, "Sir, we've moved on from this painting." And he's like, "No, I cannot." He was like, "There's something to this painting." And he's looking. Long story short, he goes, "What I've decided is you're going to either need to change the painting or you're going to need to change the name." And he was like, "Well, why would you do something silly like that?"
It's Checkmate.
Right. And he's like, I've been staring at all the pieces and looking at everything, and I see the devil and the guy looking defeated. He's like, "But what you don't notice," he was like, "and what I noticed," he's like, "I'm a professional chess player and I do this for a living." He was like, "The king has one more move." And you look at it, and the guy who's looking defeated still has the king on the board, and the king has one more move. It's not checkmate, devil.
Wow.
And it kind of gives me goosebumps of
Yeah.
our king is so good, our Lord is so good, and the king has one more move. You are not defeated.
It says it's a game with a man's soul at stake.
And yet,
The king has one more move.
yeah. Yeah. And there's a video on it as well, and the guy explains it really well. Yeah. And that was done in the 19th century, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And so because I was working overtime last night.
What time did you get done last night?
I got home about 10:30, 11.
Eek.
So yeah, especially from being up at 4:30 to working like day shift and then having to stay up late, and I've been exhausted lately just because this whole new patrol schedule and my adrenaline like spiking again and back to living that life is hard. I have just been,
I get you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Because hopefully my background investigation will be done.
Yeah. 7 days.
Everything appears to look good. So I keep checking my email to see if I've received an email from him yet. But
Mhm.
usually I'll get something.
Yeah.
This week or during his work hours, but I'm excited. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we've talked.
We've talked about a lot. I'm going to have a lot of editing
It's
to
going to be a
do.
lot of editing.
Yeah. Like I said, if anybody listening, let's just say, if anybody's listening, please send us what y'all want to hear. Send us what you want to hear, whether it's conspiracy theories or health questions or law questions or anything. Life. Trust
Clearly,
me,
we talk about anything.
we have been through a lot in
We
our
have.
life.
I think this is going to be, we may be able to get this split up into a couple episodes.
No, because there's a lot of dead space in there too that I'm going to have to condense.
We did have a pretty snazzy rap.
Yeah. I was trying to I wish I could rap. I used to think I could rap.
I can,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to embarrass you with it, how good it is. Did you know what my true calling is in life?
Be an opera singer?
No, it's even better.
Tennis player.
One more guess.
True calling in life
Mhm.
for you.
Professional.
Okay, professional.
Not many of these out there. However, I once was at a restaurant and ESPN across the bottom,
Sports broadcaster. Women's sports.
ESPN had going across the bottom this tournament championship. I didn't even know it was a sport.
So it's a sport.
Yeah, I had no
Okay.
idea. You would never know it was
So
a
it's not.
sport. It must have been a low time, a low season.
Did you just randomly figure this out? You're like, I want to be a professional at this.
I am a professional at this. And then after years of claiming
Shit
to be yes, of claiming and perfecting my talent, then to my favorite walk-up song, which if I had a walk-up song, which is Journeys Don't Stop Believing, in which I perform this, then I realized it. I am a professional air guitarist.
Okay.
If you
And
ever
this-
need an air guitarist professionally, I'm your person.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have this ESPN air guitar. Let's see. Yeah. The 2024 Air Guitar World Champion. And they live stream. You can watch it July 20th, 2025. You can live stream and watch the ESPN US World Guitar Champion. Excited?
Does he love this song?
I don't know if he loves it anymore, but when I'm playing golf
Yeah.
and this comes on,
Gosh.
I wait until it's at the point
Yeah.
and it's almost there.
Yeah.
And then I walk up and I use my golf club.
Yep.
And then you got to get into it. You got to get that.
Can we talk about how amazing this song is?
Like the best ever.
Yeah.
You just feel something in your, like across the decades.
Yeah.
Or something.
This is such an amazing song.
It's
I
an
love
amazing
this song. Yeah,
Tears in my eyes.
I know.
Mostly because my air guitaring is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. All the wind of
It's amazing.
the fast the motions of just,
We should get like a air machine.
holy, my eyes would be like,
All right. It's our new
uh,
walk-up song for Badges and Badges.
that's it. We should just kind of, after our introduction, we'll kind of just
Get it done.
kind of play this and we'll.
Did you gotta have that?
I love it.
Gets it.
Yeah.
You gotta see, look like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Get my,
Yeah, get your
get my braid going.
braid going. That's awesome. That was a good show.
It was a good show.
That was
Yeah. I think we needed
but
to
for
lighten
you
it
and
up with
I-
this. Yeah.
we feel all the things, and so I think it's good to talk about it and
I
get
think
it
so.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
We need a sign off
And then peace. Catch you next week.
next week.
Good job.